Alright, we are on the draw in match 3 of this league with RUG Delver. This hand's keepable, so we're going to do so. Delver into Delver plus Bolt into... who knows? Snapcaster Mage eventually. Ooh, fancy looking Pendelhaven. Heritage Druid. Pretty likely the opponent is able to play 2 elves. So I think we're going to grab a Steam Vents and bolt this. If the opponent puts down any 2 elves, they get to tap all 3 for 3 mana. And that basically gives them the ability to play 2 or 3 more elves. And we don't really want the opponent to have that kind of turn too. So we're not going to let that happen. I went for the Steam Vent specifically instead of playing out this mountain so that on this turn we can go double Delver. And they played a Dwynen's Elite without having another elf on board. That's fantastic for us. If they put this down, they would have gotten the token. This would have been the 3rd one, and then they would be off to the races. Let's grab a basic island and see if we can clock our opponent. Put these Delvers down, and then next turn we're looking at Snap Bolt in an attempt to slow the opponent down a little bit more. That's the goal at least. Who knows what they could be putting down here. Okay. No land, no anything. Stubborn Denial will get revealed. It's not really going to get used, but still worth showing off so that we can hit them for 6. I'm not sure which land I want to play, though. Fetching isn't super relevant here. I guess we could hold off on showing them green. I like the idea of not showing them green, because if we can take game 1 without the opponent knowing we're on RUG, that would just be fantastic. I'm pretty interested in them not having swung with this previously. I'm not going to bother snap bolting that. We could put down the Foothills. I'm not sure I want to. Scour also might give away the ruse. I guess we could Scour into a threat. Yeah, we should do that. Just in case we draw... Ooh, Mana Leak. In case we draw something like a Mandrills or a Goyf. That way we could play it and then hold up Denial. As is, we have Denial, Leak, and Snapcaster Mage up. Denial, obviously not very good. Leak, Snapcaster Mage. We probably end up Snap Bolting on the end step here. I still don't love cracking that Foothills, though. On the other hand, chances are the opponent's dead. So I think we can safely give up green. I believe we let that resolve. I'm thinking about our ability to get this Snapcaster Mage to also connect. You know what? The opponent only has this available, so I am going to be a little greedy here. The only mana they have up is green, and that's not that scary. Not that scary at all, the opponent having green mana. If they had white up, I would fear Path to Exile, and probably go for the Snap Bolt on the end step. That way we could untap Snap Tarfire if necessary, in case they were able to deal with one of these. As is, I don't believe that's important at all. I'm just going to go for it. Cool. Our Elves opponent had a very unfortunate slow start. Of course, Delver did what Delver does and punished them for stumbling. To be fair, if we stumbled, they probably would have run us over as well, so what are you gonna do? Where is Elves on my spreadsheet? I have a good idea of how we sideboard against creature decks. Do I not have Elves jot down? I feel like I have Elves jot down somewhere, but I can't see it for the life of me. Okay, that's fine. EE might be slow. Basilisk Collar seems nice. I like Huntmaster for obvious reasons. Sometimes I board in Revelry. Anger seems fantastic. Pyroclasm, great. Click doesn't seem very good. Deprive is possible. Spreading Seas seems pretty bad. Ceremonious Rejection also quite bad. Don't want the Artifact Hate. Destructive Revelry I sometimes board in for fear of choke, and also I want to say Cloudstone Curio is the combo piece they very rarely play, but sometimes it comes up. Not really. Revelry's mostly there for choke, sometimes Spellskite, that kind of thing. What do I want to board out? Curious Obsession probably is going to end up staying. I could see dropping a non-zero amount of Thought Scours. Spell Snares, perhaps. They don't have that many 2s, mostly 1s and 3s, I think. Is it mostly 1s and 3s? They have Dwynen's Elite. Oh, Elves probably plays Devoted Druid. Elves almost always plays Devoted Druid. Let's keep those. I could see cutting a Stubborn Denial. It's mostly there for Coco, Cord, that kind of thing. Going down to 2's not so bad. Echoing Truth is pretty bad. Mana Leak's not great. I could see cutting 1. Roast Dismember, I'm happy to have removal. Nux is going to be blocked very easily by our opponent, so I could live with cutting that. I think I want these 5, and we'll cut one of those, this, that, and maybe another Thought Scour. I think that's pretty safe. I'm quite surprised I don't have a plan for Elves, though. Maybe I just missed it. Let's Control F. Elves. I do not have a plan for Elves written out. That seems really strange. I have like 20 decks, archetypes, with sideboard plans against. That's a terrible way to phrase a sentence, but that's okay. The meaning gets across. We're going to keep this. Delver, lands, and plenty of interaction. Llanowar Elves. Huh. That's interesting. I want to play Delver, but I also don't because of this Pyroclasm. But the thing is, I guess we could fetch a land tapped. That's possible. That's actually pretty defensible. I think I might do that. If you want to play Delver, okay, so either we're going for Pyroclasm to clean up their board, or we're tar-firing this right away, because we're not letting them have a Mana Dork unanswered unless we plan on sweeping, hoping they overextend. So either going for this, or we're going for this. Going for Tarfire is a little awkward, because it makes the Pyroclasm worse. So I think I'm just going to go land tapped. I plan on casting Pyroclasm next turn. So I don't really mind giving up the tempo. We're not getting tempo anyways, because whatever advantage we would get on board is going to be thrown away immediately. So I think this is where we want to be. That's fine. We're going to kill both of those. That's great. Unfortunately, we're on the draw, so the opponent's still going to have their turn 3 uncontested, but that's still very good. We Pyroclasm, and then after we can go, yeah, that seems nice. Pyroclasm into Delver, Tarfire. That seems like a pretty good play. Unfortunate that we want another blue source, which means we're going to be shocking a lot. I'm going to go for the Stomping Ground to cast the Pyroclasm just in case we draw something like a basic island. That way we can go double blue next turn without shocking the extra time. If I just get the blue source right away off this foothills, we're pretty committed. I guess that's not really a thing since we have our red source anyways. Choke! There it is. Alright, they had it. How are we going to deal with that? We can cast a Delver. I'm probably just going to get a blue source, to be quite honest. Having 2 mana isn't the worst because of Mandrills and Tarfire, but I think having 1 mana is going to be just fine. Doesn't really matter which island we get. Let's grab the Breeding Pool, I guess. I don't think we're dealing with that choke anytime soon. I actually am quite certain I didn't board in anything to answer it. View sideboard. Revelry and EE both in there. On the bright side, the opponent doesn't have anything going right now. That's fine. We're going to Tarfire that at our leisure. We might do that immediately. Tarfiring that means that if we draw a land, we get to slam Mandrills. Or a Bauble. That's probably worth it. As opposed to deferring the decision. Think it's worth it to do it right there. We'll show off the Serum Visions even though we're not casting it. Swing in. And, well, we're certainly not ahead, given that we have one land in play effectively, but we're not in the worst spot. If the opponent paths us, we could get a forest, probably the mountain, although forest works better with traverse, so it's possible we get that. I do believe we will be boarding in Answers to Choke now. It's a lot easier to convince myself to play around Choke when I know the opponent has played Choke. Coco's fine. I guess they're playing around us drawing an island. That's pretty good. Yeah, I believe we're going to lose this now. That's very good. Roast. That's awkward. We're not winning the race, but they can regenerate elves. I guess they can't regenerate Azuri, but pretty soon Azuri's going to be just fine if they hit another lord. So I think we're going to keep clocking them. We're certainly not winning the long game. We're also not winning the short game, but we're really not winning the long game. If we find a bolt, we might be able to pull off the short game. There are draws that let us win the short game. Not a lot that can beat Azuri, Archdruid, and an army of elves, though. Not out of our deck. Another Coco? Could be another Coco. Certainly smells like Coco. Lead the Stampede. That's fair. That makes sense. I wonder if we should scoop soon. Cat's out of the bag that we're on RUG. Skoos and Elvish Mystic. Well, Skoos is going to make this Mandrills quite bad. We probably scoop before showing them anything interesting. Although we might not scoop right away. They might show us a card or two more. I kind of want to board in EE as well as Revelry now. I don't love engineered explosives against elves. It can be a little slow. But you know what? They haven't been fast either of these two games. Although I know that's very limited in scope as far as a sample would go, but another Mandrills. Alright. There's not really reason for us to attack because I believe we're dead on board. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 plus 6 equals 11. So we're not going to swing. Actually, they can overrun. What am I saying? We're super dead. Hopefully they don't overrun right away. I wouldn't mind seeing an extra card. Mystic as well. Not Mystic. That's interesting. We're going to force them to do it. Oh, they left up 2 overruns. That's why. Yeah, that works. That makes sense. Although, did they need it? Not if they swung with this. I guess they're playing around Bolt. We don't even need to scoop. We're already dead. Okay, so we want this and this. What are we going to take out to make room for those? I feel like it's counterspells. Counters are very good against Mana Leak and Cord, but they're not great against much else. So I think I'm pretty happy to board out a Leak and probably a Snare. Something like that. Let's give that a go. I definitely don't want to board out Threats. That hand... Well, it only has 3 lands. For a second, I thought it had 4. That's a lot better than I initially thought. Delver with Bauble on turn 1. Turn 2, Visions plus Bolt. That's not bad. I'd actually say that's good. We don't have Blood Moon, so I don't really care to get a basic island. Also, if we're getting any basics, I kind of want them to not be blue sources so that we aren't extra susceptible to choke. So let's keep up with the Steam Vents. That's a good land, Steam Vents. Blue and red. Blue and red. What a combination. We're going to do some scrying with this Delver soon. That's going to resolve. Let's take a look at our top card. It's been a while since I did this. We have a Mandrills on top. Delver hits the stack first. Bobble's going to resolve. Let's draw Mandrills. Mandrills actually is great here. Mandrills is great in a lot of spots now that I think about it. Tarmogoyf. We're not going to play Goyf right away. I would quite like to kill this. Am I willing to trade Delver of Secrets for their Llanowar Elves? I think I am. We're going to offer the trade, just in case they're inclined to take it. They are not. Alright, we're either going to fetch out a basic mountain, or I guess we could grab a Stomping Ground. Yeah, that works. Stomping Ground, maybe a forest after. Let's cast Visions, just in case we don't end up wanting to use Bolt. We could bottom both of these to try to transform the Delver, which seems pretty good. Kill that. Don't really want them to be playing 3 drops ahead of time, or to be spamming out 3 elves on turn 2. That's also bad. Devoted Druid. I wonder if we're going to pay for this. Wooded Foothills. No. If they just have the combo, we are very, very dead. They might just be using this as a mana dork, though. We're going to swing into it because if they block, we don't lose our Delver, and if they don't block, they take 1. So we are making that attack every time. Afterwards, I believe it's going to be Delver plus Goyf. Cool. We got a free point of damage in, folks. Let's grab a basic forest. And flood the board. If they have it, they have it. If they don't, well, it's going to be a board state fight. After we crack that Misty, we can probably play Mandrills without affecting Goyf very much. Yeah, we're gonna have 4 mana available. If we don't draw something awesome, then we can spend pretty much all of it on Mandrills. So yes, we can play Mandrills and keep our 5/6. Of course, that's not the real concern at the moment. I'm more scared of what they might have. Cavern of Souls is a good reason to drop counters. I think I actually forgot about Cavern. It has been a while, but that's kind of bad. That's kind of very bad. Probably would have cut more counters sooner when we went to game 2 if I had thought about the fact that Cavern of Souls makes Mana Leak. Trying to Mana Leak an Azuri, not very good. So, the opponent hasn't just jammed a Vizier of Remedies, so I imagine that we're not dead yet. Maybe they have a Collected Company, and they're considering playing it right now. Archdruid, sure. Mana, untap, mana, Dwynen's Elite, okay. Yeah, that's pretty good. Pyroclasm, still looking awesome here. What do we got, Delvers? It's a Misty. That's unfortunate. Let's not and say we did. Okay. I believe we're going to swing with this Tarmogoyf. That'll help us keep their board in check at least somewhat. They're either going to take 5, chump it with this elf, or lose Archdruid and maybe everything. We put 2, 3, no, the Elf Warrior would survive. But, I mean, trading Goyf for these two seems pretty fair. We're not going to swing with the Delvers because, well, they didn't transform. Wouldn't be surprised if they just took this in the face. That's probably best for them, given that this taps for a bunch. Yep, that's also pretty easily defensible. Let's put this down. Not going to crack that fetch because Delver Scry. They have a creature. We have to give something up. We can crack a fetch, though, so let's shrink Goyf a little bit for now. Excuse me. And we're kind of back to hoping they don't have anything good. This has a -1/-1 counter, but it still says 0-2. Oh, Archdruid, that's why. Okay. I was confused. I thought that was a bug. Our opponent thinks a lot, which I can't really blame them for because they're not even spending that much time thinking. I guess they're thinking about their entire turn before they make any plays because it seems like once they start playing cards, they play out their entire turn all at once. But I still don't really like sitting here for a minute just waiting to see what's going to happen. Okay. So we're playing the long game. If these Delvers transform, we have a chance. We have a chance. We just need some 3/2s with flying. What do we got? What do you got, Delver? Anger of the Gods. Let's show the opponent that one. That's a doozy. That is a doozy. Okay, so they have Collected Company available. They have quite a bit of Collected Company mana. They also could theoretically chord for a Selfless Spirit, which means I lose my Delvers and they lose, well, their Selfless Spirit. And that's really unfortunate for us, so I'm not really sure what we're supposed to do. If ever they find an Azuri on this board, we are in fact dead. I think we would be dead. Let's do the math. They crack this. They have 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 9 mana. They can play Azuri, overrun once, and that leaves everything else available to swing. We have a lot of toughness. I don't think we'd be dead immediately. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 11, 17, 22, and we block with these two, which means we take all but 9, which is 13. So we are dead to Azuri. So if at any point during this game they find Azuri and we have not dealt with that board, we are dead. That's not a good thing. Which means we're pretty well dead to Chord anyways. So if we can't beat Chord of Calling, we're not going to play around them having Chord into Selfless Spirit, which means we should cast Anger. Now, if we cast Anger and it resolves, their entire board goes away and we swing for 8. Crack this, make it 9. I think we Anger instead of swinging with the Aberrations. I don't know if I should play the Misty first, though. I don't think we need to bluff the extra mana. I think I'd rather pretend I have a spell. Let's go for that, see what happens. If they have anything that makes this Anger quite bad, we're dead anyways. So I think we're supposed to Anger here. If they have the Chord right now and we don't Anger, we hit them for 6, and then they will untap, Chord for Azuri. Actually, no, they Chord for Azuri on our end step, untap, and murder us. So I don't think there's a reason not to go for the Anger. If they have it, we're dead. If they don't have it, we're in a pretty good spot. They have something. I'm hoping it's just a Collected Company into nothing. If it's a Chord of Calling, I'm assuming this Anger is going to end up being very, very, very bad. 5 mana. That's cord for 2. 5 mana. 3 plus 2. I believe Elves usually plays 1 Selfless Spirit. They're going for 6, 7, 8. Cord for 5? I don't know why they're cording for 5. Cord for 5 gets you Chameleon Colossus, I think. That's not fantastic. It's not terrible. Cord for 3, keeping 2 mana up. Okay. Cord for 3, get Azuri, Overrun. Well, they had the cord, which means not angering was lethal. So I'm still pretty happy that I angered. They get to 5 mana, they're going to overrun, and the Anger of the Gods is going to turn on us. Good night, sweet Delvers, I barely knew you. Pretty sad that they transformed and then died. Exiled even, they didn't even get to die. Alright. So, if we don't attack, we are super duper dead. If we do attack, they're going to take 9. Oh, we may as well make them take 9. They could always block with Azuri if they feel so inclined. That'd be great. I think we're still dead in that case, but I could live with it. Oh, I forgot they had that. That's fair. It doesn't do much. I guess they could trade it with Mandrills if they want to. Doesn't seem that relevant. I don't think they can chain overrun here. Oh, yes, I forgot that was even a thing with Azuri. You overrun, make this big, use it to make a lot of mana. This only gives +3 though. So I guess you can't infinite overrun. You need 2 to infinite overrun. That's it. That's fine. Cool. Well, we got them down to 9. Good job, guys. Turns out they just had it. Nothing you can do there. If we didn't anger, we hit them for 6, they cord for Azuri, and we're dead. So, I'm still quite happy that we angered there. I'm just gonna scoop. We don't need them to click anything else. That is just fine. Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed that video, and I hope to see you in the next one.